Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of uranium. Uranium did quite well today. Very strong, good buying pressure, that's for sure. We'll see it in the charts here. We've got the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. It did pop up a little bit higher. The entire sector moved with it. And we'll look at the charts and I'll let you know what I think. Again, this is just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. So let's dive into the charts and I can give you my opinion. One thing I do want to start with is the 10-year yield. The 10-year yield is breaking to the upside here. And this is on a 40-year decline. And usually when you have higher yields, this correlates incredibly well, yields do, with energy. And if you notice at the bottom here, we've had an increasing interest rate environment, a little bit of a cool off. And every time we run up in interest rates, we get a strong move in energy in general. So that's one thing I think you should watch. Now I'm going to show you something. So we've got the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust here. We've closed up here above the downward trend line. Little wick at the top. We'll see where we go tomorrow. But and hopefully we go down a little bit so I can buy some more. I got some money. And we came on down. We broke this out. And I'm just going to throw up a 10-year yield on here. And what you're going to notice is that the 10-year yield is highly correlated with the energy movements, energy being oil, natural gas, and uranium. We had a big move in the yields today, which means that we would see a big move probably in energy. And there's your move there. You can see it's very similarly correlated. URNM, actually, let's throw that back on here. Here's the 10-year yield. There's a 10-year yield. Now, I didn't say it's going to be matching the movements exactly, but when it's up, uranium's up. When it's down, yields are down. This cycle up and down is the same. It is very closely linked. And URNM's looking, we had a pretty strong day today, 7.8% up. And I think we're going to bounce sideways, and depends what yields do. If yields take off, I think energy is going to take off in general. And like I said, we're right at this support line coming through. It's a good buying opportunity down here to do some sprinkling in. So I think it looks good to do some sprinkling. Bannerman Energy having a strong day today as well. We're right at, hit the log here. We're right at support here coming up. We're right at support coming up soon. So we're getting to a spot that I think is low risk, high reward to be adding in a little bit. Goviax Energy coming up, big day today. And we've been chopping sideways in here. Goviax is probably one of my favorite ones to add into at this moment because of the value and where it is in developing mines. I do like Goviax. It's one of my favorite. And if you back out, here's your high. You break out, you back test, and then you take off. So I think we were very close in this cup and handle pattern for a large move higher. Global Atomic, another one that I like. This thing has had a monster move though. Just keeps going higher and higher, but it looks very strong. Nice, good, strong finish today. Looks really good. You could probably draw this through like this. And there's your line going across that we're going to try to break here at some point. Forces, another one of the African crew, looking really good. It's been chopping sideways in this pattern. Once it gets to the end of this pattern, I think we're going to see some fireworks and we're going to get moving. Going to see a large move higher, another stair step move higher. So stair step, and then another move. Here's a Pure Point Uranium. Again, we're at support. Not a bad spot to be adding in a little bit if you like Pure Point Uranium. This is what it looks like on a long-term perspective. Deep yellow, down 4.5%. We're at the bottom of this support area in here, 63 cents or so. You know, again, not a bad one to be looking at for a long-term hold. Paladin's looking really good. Um, this guy's putting in a nice strong day today. I could see this breaking out of this pattern and moving substantially higher. So Paladin Energy looks really good to me for a long-term hold. So does Sky Harbor. Whenever you kind of get into these little corners here, that's where you're going to get a break and get a big old move higher eventually. Next Gen Energy, nice strong move today, 9.15%, bouncing off its support line of this channel. So that looks good. Canalaska had a down day today. It's right at support. We'll see which way it breaks. Baseload Energy, again, it's looking quite good. And again, guys, the way I have this drawn in here, we could be putting in larger patterns. So, I mean, this could be something like a pattern that looks something. Oh man, I missed. Oh, come on, grab that. That looks something, you know, like this, where we kind of go a little bit longer and then break. That's a possibility. Fission 3.0, another one. Again, I do think that this is probably going to be a larger pattern that we're going to draw out and bounce around a little bit. Fission, we're right at the support line. There's still the possibility of these ascending wedges breaking to the downside and having a little bit of a breather, but perhaps not yet. CCJ, nice, good, strong buying pressure today. Low wick at the top. That's looking okay. Kazatomprom, we squeezed up here, broke on down, bullish engulfing there. So let's see if we can get some momentum to the upside. Peninsula Energy, bullish engulfing pattern, probably going to head higher at some point. Good buying pressure down there. Looking at Boss Energy, good support right down here at $1.39, $1.40. Up a little bit today. Lotus Resources looks really good. I like this, the way this one looks and how it finished strong. This one we could see a good push higher here. It's looking quite strong for Lotus. Uranium Royalty Corporation, lots of support underneath it. I'd be a buyer down here. That's what I would do. Maybe cost average in a little bit, and it's up to you. Encore Energy, we're right at the tip of this little guy here. Again, this might be a little bit bigger pattern than what I've got. It might bounce a little bit more and go a lot more sideways. Tough to say. Tough to say. Again, this, just looking at this could be a shoulder almost developing where we come back. You don't know with some of these patterns. We got the channel here. We'll see what happens. A lot of strength today, 11.27%. So maybe it breaks higher. And usually what I do, guys, is if I usually don't follow like on a daily basis like this, I look for breaks like here, and then I start loading in, and then I just hold on. And if you're trading, I wouldn't be trading here. I would be just holding on. If you're looking, I would look for other opportunities. But we're in a very good location for the majority of these being just above the breakouts. So it's not too bad of a spot to be buying. UEC, again, we're coming up to a point here. And we're right at the tip. This is going to break. It's going to break either up or down. I would suspect it would break to the upside for UEC. And LEU looking pretty good today. A little bit of a wick at the top. You might see a down day tomorrow. Is this a shoulder, head, shoulder? We'll see. Tough to say yet. LTBR, good 13% up day today. This thing's going to get squeezed to the moon. If you look at the big picture, this is where I got really happy, is when I said, oh, this is a retest. I'm going to buy it at $6 and something cents on this downtrend and see if we can get some momentum to the upside. This is a low risk, high reward opportunity. That's what I look for. ISO Energy, this is kind of a funky looking pattern here, but we're at this long-term support if it can hold. So probably not a bad spot to be looking, right in this area here. Appia Energy, I think this one broke to the downside of it's on a big pattern here. We came up, kind of squeezed up, broke to the downside here. but we're still above this big pattern, and all in here would be a good spot, I think, for potential buying opportunities. Denison Mines, again, we're in the upward channel here, coming off of a monster pattern, very long monster pattern that we're coming up off of. So that looks good on the long term. Blue Sky Uranium kind of chilling out down here, getting a little bit of buying action today. Forum Energy Metals, we're just bouncing off this support line here. There's that support line. Back out some more. There it is. Hitting on these guys here. Hitting on this here. So we're at support. Anfield, difficult to say what's going on, but you coming down, low, low, higher, low, higher, low. If this can hold and break out, I mean, you could see a big move in Anfield if this can break. Looking at Laramide, kind of it's squeezing up a little bit. We might see this thing break to the downside, and that's. But who knows? Maybe we break to the upside. I'm not doing anything with my shares. I'm just holding on. And then we got Western Uranium. Looks like it's holding on to something. Let me just hold on down here. But we've broken this uptrend, broken the uptrend line. And then UEX CF, we're holding on to this support area, and we're just holding on, moving sideways. So that's what we've got going for the entire sector. So what would I be doing, guys? If I didn't have money in it, I would still buy into it. I still think it's of really good value. Why do I think it's of good value? The uranium to gold price is incredibly cheap. We're at the beginning of an expansion phase of real estate. We're going to see increasing interest rates. Increasing interest rates is fuel for the energy sector to really take off, I think. So when we see these things really start to move to the upside here, I think having energy-related assets, I think, is good. They're gonna do incredibly well, and we have a long bull market ahead of us. This isn't just a year or two. This is going to be like 5, 6, 7 years or longer. So, and they being governments, they're really screwing this up. They're not investing in oil. They're not investing in these things. They're putting everything into renewables. We have no way to store it. We're going to have natural gas shortages. And I would suspect that those countries that want clean energy would look towards nuclear. That's kind of what I would think. But they're going to go. Some of these countries are not going to go that route. They're going to put in more renewables apparently, or something. I don't know what they're going to put in. So I mean, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I own this stuff. I own a lot in oil and natural gas, and I think what's coming will. We're going to see inflation. We're going to see higher interest rates, and energy loves both of those. It loves inflation. It loves higher rates, and it almost always correlates with rates. Rates going up, energy goes up. It's like people just say, I'm going to sell my bonds or stocks and dump it right into energy. It's similar to that, or they go into precious metals eventually. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. I think energy is going to do incredibly well, and all you have to do is just hold on. Which one do I think is the best out of the sector? I like GoviX. That's the one I like the best. Why do I like it the best? It's very cheap on $1 per pound. It's right there in the developer stage to increase value for its shareholders. It has a long runway for valuation increases for its shareholders to go up. We are also breaking a cup and handle pattern, and we're at the top of it, and we're doing a retest. That's exactly where I would purchase. That's what I am purchasing in the uranium sector. I'm beefing up my GoviX of all of the companies. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.